High Plains Technology says it's time for school.
That's right. It is time for school, of course, with High Plains Technology Center. And this morning, I am blessed with the presence of James. James, good morning.
Good morning, and thanks for having me here. Come from the High Plains Technology Center. I teach the GWO training curriculum out there. I do BST, BTT, which is all wind turbine-related basic safety training and basic technical training. I'm here with two of our training partners, Jerry Kelly from Colorado and Amber from Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Thank you, James. Yes, my name is Jerry Kelly. I work for WorkRise. We are an independent service provider in the renewable energy sector, currently based out of Denver, Colorado.
Thank you, Jerry. My name is Amber Christensen. I am with Renew Energy Maintenance based out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I'm a safety instructor there, also one of the partners of High Plains Training Facility. And we have a wonderful partnership, and it's been growing exponentially since I think we've been together since 2017.
That's right, Amber. 2017, we started the adventure on with High Plains and our training partners to deliver the GWO training curriculum to wind service people and construction experts for wind turbine companies. We get to train all kinds of people from all over the world. GWO, if you don't know, is Global Wind Organization. So, Jerry, you've been probably the least longest member of the training team. How do you think we've been doing as a training committee?
Thanks for that, James. Yeah, as a junior member of the partnership now and coming from a field technician role, seeing this partnership grow in the industry and the impact it's had to raise the safety awareness and technical training of the employees has been very beneficial. And the partnership itself, having so many different companies involved, really does make a strong network if we need to rely on each other.
Yeah, it was really interesting when we got together at the beginning of this week and everybody wrote down the number of training years they had experience. And do you remember what the total was, Amber?
I believe it was roughly 150 years of safety within 20 of us instructors throughout the different partnerships. It's phenomenal to see a technician go basically from not knowing any knowledge about a turbine and hearing some of the concerns on safety from their parents, from their siblings, from their spouses, whatever it may be, just to solidify that training and then really run home the fact that, hey, we really do care about everyone. And having this GWO standardized training really has an impact in the wind industry.
Jerry, you think the standardized training's been welcome in the industry?
From the responses I have seen, I believe that it is. It is very reassuring to know that you may work with other technicians from other companies and know that they know the same things that you do when it comes to the life-saving techniques that we train.
That is one of my favorite things is when we get a person that comes from Germany or Liberia and they've had GWO training someplace else and they come into our High Plains Training Center. And we get to see the difference in the trainings. It's the same, but we do it a little bit differently. As we all know, we like to think we do it the best.
That's how I would describe it. A little better. What's your thoughts on that, Amber?
I would completely agree with you. I think we hold ourselves at a higher standard than most other safety people. And I don't say that lightly. We really put in the hours as trainers ourselves to ensure that we're getting out the proper information and hearing the technicians out in the field, understanding their concerns too, thinking of different ways that we can improve on it. And if there is a gap, then we're there to shore it up and ensure that everyone together is working safely, because that's the end goal, is to make sure that everyone comes home safe with all their toes and eyes and hands and home to their families. James, what do you think about that?
Well, I think we've been called the fastest growing, best paying industry in the United States the last 2 years running. And as we see the younger group of people coming in the training, I remember when we used to train people that were 25, 30 years old, and now we're seeing people that come in at 19 years old and want to learn safety and how to go work on wind turbine and be safe. The working on industrial machine at ground level is dangerous, and then you plant it 300 feet in the air. It's not for everybody, but the ones that come through, they sure do love it.
Absolutely, and I really enjoy the fact that the GWO standard does lay out a lot more time for hands-on demonstrations and exercises. It seems like that seems to be the best way for those who work in our industry to learn outside of the classroom.
I totally agree, Jerry. Every one of these guys that comes in and gals that comes in, hands-on learning is the way to go. And I think that's what makes us stand a little bit above everybody else is we spend 5 days doing very little theoretical training and trying to get our hands on tools and equipment and figure out how to use the stuff, how to get up and down a ladder safely. That makes all the sense to me is if that's what you're going to do in life for a living, then we should teach you how to do those things. You think that's a fair assessment, Amber?
You know, it's not just the climbing aspect of it. It's the what if we have an accident or what happens if somebody has a little boo-boo. We also touch really very much upon the first aid portion of things and the manual handling. It's something that we learn improperly as we age. As a child, you know everything how to do it right, and you haven't even been taught it. As we grow older, we want to lift more, carry more, do all those things, and understanding that takes a real big toll on it. So I think overall this training, as I said before, doesn't necessarily just stop at the job site. It's carrying over into the home life too. It's all of these skills that these people develop and understand and, maybe have to relearn those techniques on the manual handling. On the fire awareness is also a really big one, too. Many people don't even understand how to use a fire extinguisher. We get their hands-on training on that as well. So anything else?
So they can take some of the skills they learn to go to work and use them at home.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, James. And that is one of the big key points that I like to stress to my students is don't just when the clock stops, this training doesn't end. You can use these skill sets to protect your friends, your family, and just strangers that you come across in the world.
Bringing in that people portion of things really, really helps too. I think that every one of us instructors, we really care about the people that come through. We want to see them succeed as technicians. And if we need to, we'll take more time with certain individuals and as a group and just work with everyone on it.
So, James, I have a question for you. What would you consider to be your favorite part of the course to teach?
My favorite portion of the course to teach is actually the spots where we deal with eliminating human error and understanding that it is okay to make mistakes. It's what you do after the mistake happens and how we correct the situation and move forward and learn from our experiences so we don't have the same mistakes repeatedly happening.
Absolutely. Amber, what about you?
I personally enjoy the first aid. I absolutely love instructing first aid. I think it's a skill that everyone should learn as an individual. And we do a lot of practicals that go along with it, real live situations.
You guys use moulage makeup and fake blood.
We do. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, We get into some really crazy scenarios. I know this is a radio show, but I wish you guys could see some of the pictures out there. They're pretty gruesome.
Absolutely. And I have to agree with you, Amber. First aid is probably my favorite area to teach as well. I might be a little biased for my background on that, though. But
well, you were a medic in the Army, weren't you, Jerry?
Yes, sir. Just for a brief stint. But, James, if somebody has no idea about what path to pursue to get into our industry, what advice would you give to them?
I would say if you're anywhere near Woodward, Oklahoma, swing by and check out the best kept secret in Northwest Oklahoma, which would be High Plains Technology Center. So, Katie, you're the marketing director. Can you explain to everybody what they would do to get enrolled at High Plains?
Yes. So thank you, James. The best way to get signed up and scheduled for the GWO training is going to be to contact Stephen Rogers. And you can find his contact info on our website, www.hptc.edu, and that was Stephen Rogers. So he coordinates all the GWO trainings that we have 5 to 6 times a week at High Plains. And then we also have our wind technician program, and Jack Day is the instructor for that program, and it's highly successful, and we have 2 rounds of classes a year. The program takes 20 weeks, and almost 99% of the time, once you graduate, these students are going directly into the field as a wind technician. And so We have a class that just began in July, and we will have the next class around January 3rd or 4th, and you can get the application and more info of that on our website also, hptc.edu. All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in today, and we appreciate our guest, and we hope you have a good day.